Welcome to your personalized deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're going way beyond the
Yeah.
typical tourist highlights.
That's right.
We're talking Angkor Wat and prepping you for an unforgettable trip.
For sure.
We've got documentaries, 3D scans, archaeological reports,
Oh, yeah.
the works. Think of this as your secret decoder ring for this incredible site.
It's more than just a temple complex. It's a glimpse into a lost world.
Wow.
A world that thrived for centuries.
Wow.
Understanding the sheer scale and ambition of the Khmer people is key to appreciating what you're about to experience.
Exactly. So first things first.
Okay.
Let's get a sense of how massive Angkor Wat really is.
Okay.
I mean, everyone knows it's big.
Like, it's ginormous.
But ginormous how?
Well, imagine a site that sprawls over 200 football fields.
Wow.
That's just the main temple complex itself.
Okay.
But recent LiDAR scans, basically lasers that can see through dense jungle, revealed a sprawling city surrounding the temple.
Oh, wow.
With a population that rivaled some of the world's largest cities back in the 12th century.
Okay, I can barely run a 5K, let alone wrap my head around a city that size. Seriously, how many people are we talking about?
Close to 1 million people.
1 million.
Not just a village.
Right.
We're talking about a meticulously planned metropolis with houses, roads, canals, even ponds for water storage.
Jeez.
All laid out in a grid system.
So when I visit,
Yeah.
I'm not just exploring a temple. I'm walking through the streets of a lost city. That's incredible.
Yep.
But all those structures, I mean, we're talking millions of tons of sandstone, right?
Yeah. No.
Where did they even get that much stone?
The quarries were about 50 kilometers away.
50 kilometers?
That's a marathon's worth of distance.
Oh, my God.
And each block weighed a ton.
I'm already exhausted just thinking about it. How did they move all that stone? Did they have, like, super strong elephants or something?
Elephants may have played a role.
Okay.
But the real heroes were the canals. The Khmer people created a network of waterways, linking the quarries to Angkor, allowing them to float those massive blocks on rafts.
Okay. Floating giant stones on rafts. That's impressive.
It is pretty impressive.
But what about putting it all together, building a stone temple on this scale?
Right.
In just 40 years.
In 40 years.
How is that even possible?
That's where the ingenuity of the Khmer builders comes in.
Okay.
They had a few tricks up their sleeves,
Right, good.
combining different materials and techniques to speed up the process.
Okay.
For example, they used laterite, a reddish rock that hardens quickly for the base. Think of it like a fast-drying foundation.
That makes sense. Get the base in quickly, then add the fancy sandstone details later.
Right.
But still 40 years, these people were seriously efficient.
Right. They were masters of logistics and planning.
Yeah.
Think ramps and wooden pegs for lifting the blocks. No cranes back then.
Right.
And here's a fascinating detail.
Great.
They carved the intricate reliefs from the top down.
Truly.
Ensuring everything lined up perfectly.
Carving from the top down? That's some serious foresight.
Oh, yeah.
They must have had the entire design mapped out in incredible detail.
You were sure.
Before they even started. But you know what blows my mind?
What's that?
Angkor Wat has stood for almost a millennium.
I know.
How is that even possible in the tropics?
Well, several factors contribute to its remarkable longevity.
Okay.
One is the foundation. It sits on a bed of wet sand.
Wet sand. Wouldn't that make it unstable?
That's what's so ingenious.
Oh, okay.
The massive moat surrounding the temple isn't just for show. It keeps the sand foundations damp.
Oh, okay.
Making them almost as strong as rock.
Wow.
It's a brilliant example of how the Khmer people worked with their environment.
Yeah. To create enduring structures.
So the moat is like a giant ancient humidifier.
Kind of.
Keeping everything rock solid. But hold on, we're talking millions of tons of stone. They couldn't have relied on wet sand alone to hold it all together, right?
You're absolutely right. That's where another fascinating detail comes in. Iron clamps.
Iron clamps.
Thousands of them.
Okay.
Were used to bind the stones together.
Okay. So they're like giant staples.
Yeah. Okay.
Holding these massive blocks together.
But here's the mystery.
Okay.
The origin of that iron is still unknown. Unknown.
You mean they haven't found the mines or where this metal came from?
Exactly. It wasn't sourced from any of the known iron mines of that period.
So it's like they had a secret source of iron.
A secret source of iron. Which adds a whole other layer of intrigue to Angkor Wat's story. Okay, so we've got massive scale, brilliant engineering, a mysterious source of iron. What else makes this temple so unique? It's got to be more than just a pile of stones. Right?
No, it's so much more than that. It's like a giant storybook carved in stone.
Really?
Remember how we talked about the city being built as a representation of Mount Meru?
Yeah, the mythical home of the gods.
Right. Well, the carvings on the walls aren't just decorations.
Right.
They're visual narratives telling stories from Hindu mythology.
So it's like walking through a giant comic book.
Yeah, a giant comic book of their beliefs.
I like that.
And these stories aren't random.
Oh.
They're strategically placed to enhance the symbolic meaning of each space.
Okay, so I'm picturing myself walking through this temple and I'm surrounded by carvings.
Yeah.
What kinds of scenes would I actually see?
Well, on the outer walls, you'll find epic battle scenes.
Okay.
Like the churning of the ocean of milk.
The churning of the ocean of milk.
Yeah. Imagine gods and demons locked in this cosmic tug of war, using a giant serpent as a rope.
Okay, that's a pretty intense image. What does that scene represent?
It's a powerful metaphor for the eternal struggle between good and evil.
Right.
A concept that's at the heart of Hindu mythology.
So even the battle scenes have a deeper meaning. What other kinds of carvings would I encounter?
As you move inward towards the central sanctuary,
the
scenes become more serene. You'll see heavenly nymphs.
Nymphs.
Or apsaras.
Apsaras.
Known for their grace and beauty.
I've seen pictures of those apsaras.
Yeah.
They're so elegant and fluid.
They are.
It's like they're frozen in mid-dance.
Exactly. Their presence creates a sense of peace and tranquility, which is fitting for a space meant to represent the dwelling place of the gods.
Makes sense.
You'll also see intricate floral motifs and geometric patterns, all adding to the sense of harmony and balance.
It sounds like the carvings guide you on a spiritual journey as you move through the temple.
They do, they do. And as you study these carvings, you'll notice the incredible skill of the Khmer artisans.
Yeah.
The level of detail is amazing.
It is.
Especially considering they were carving hard sandstone.
Yeah. And remember how we talked about them carving from the top down?
Yes.
How did that affect the final result?
It allowed for an incredible level of precision. By starting at the top, they ensured every element aligned perfectly. It creates this seamless flow from one scene to the next.
It's mind-boggling to think about the planning and coordination involved.
It really is. It speaks to the sophistication of Khmer civilization, not just in engineering, but in their artistry and craftsmanship.
And all of this without modern tools or technology.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. Imagine the patience and dedication required to carve these intricate scenes.
Right.
Block by block, using only simple hand tools.
Exactly.
It makes you appreciate their accomplishment on a whole other level.
For sure.
Kilometers of bas-reliefs, thousands of columns, those iconic towers, all meticulously carved by hand.
Yeah.
It's like they poured their entire culture and worldview into the creation of Angkor Wat.
That's a great way to put it.
So when I visit Angkor Wat, I'm not just admiring pretty architecture.
No.
I'm stepping into a story that goes back centuries.
You're entering a world of myth and legend.
Yeah.
Where the boundaries between the earthly and the divine become blurred.
Okay, so we've covered the scale, the engineering, the symbolism, the artistry. What else should I keep in mind as I plan my trip?
Yeah.
Any insider tips you can share?
Let's see, insider tips.
Yeah.
Timing is key. Angkor Wat is truly magical at sunrise and sunset.
Okay.
The golden light creates this ethereal atmosphere.
I've seen pictures of sunrise over Angkor Wat.
Yeah.
Breathtaking. But practically speaking, I'm assuming this is a popular spot, right? Should I be bracing myself for crowds?
Yes. Angkor Wat is a popular destination, especially during peak season. To beat the crowds, try going early in the morning or in the late afternoon.
Got it. Early bird gets the best view and avoids the crowds.
Exactly.
What about navigating the site itself?
Wear comfortable shoes because you'll be doing a lot of walking.
Okay.
Stay hydrated. The tropical climate can be intense.
Good reminders. Sunscreen and a hat are musts too.
Absolutely. Hiring a local guide is another thing to consider.
Okay.
They can provide valuable context, share stories, and help you navigate the complex more efficiently.
That sounds like a great idea. A knowledgeable guide could really enhance the experience.
They can. And keep in mind that Angkor Wat is just one part of a larger archaeological park.
Okay.
There are so many other fascinating temples to explore.
Such as?
Like Angkor Thom with its enigmatic Bayon faces.
Okay.
Or Ta Prohm,
Where
the jungle has taken over the ruins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to add those to my list. They sound incredible.
Each temple offers a unique glimpse into Khmer history and culture.
So it's not just a trip. It's a full-on exploration. Any final words of wisdom before we wrap up this section?
Remember to approach Angkor Wat with respect and reverence.
Okay.
It's a sacred site, a testament to human ingenuity, and a window into a fascinating chapter of history.
Wow.
Take your time to soak it all in.
Okay.
And let the magic of Angkor work its wonders.
Okay, so we've explored the grandeur of Angkor Wat, the scale, the artistry, the engineering.
Right.
But there's a question that's been nagging at me. This magnificent city.
Yeah.
1 million people strong.
I know.
It vanished.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
That's the very mystery that has captivated historians and archaeologists for centuries. As we discussed, it wasn't a sudden collapse, but a gradual decline over hundreds of years.
But gradual doesn't really capture the scale of it. A city the size of London, thriving for 600 years, slowly fading away.
I know.
What forces could cause that kind of shift?
There are several theories, each with compelling evidence. One leading theory focuses on environmental change.
Okay.
Remember those massive reservoirs and canals?
Yeah.
They were the city's lifelines.
Right.
Essential for agriculture and daily life.
So not just impressive feats of engineering, they were critical infrastructure.
Exactly. Research suggests that Angkor's elaborate water system was incredibly vulnerable to changes in rainfall.
So like droughts.
Prolonged droughts could have put immense strain
Right.
on the city's resources.
A city that size needs a lot of water.
It does.
Not just for drinking, but for crop sanitation, everything. A drought could have been devastating.
Imagine 1 million people relying on a system that's suddenly unable to meet their needs.
Jeez.
It would lead to food shortages, social unrest, even conflict over dwindling resources.
A domino effect. One problem triggering a cascade of others. But was it just environmental factors? Weren't there other things going on?
That's where it gets even more complex. We have to consider the political landscape.
Okay.
Angkor wasn't just a city.
Right.
It was the heart of a vast empire.
Right.
Maintaining that power required military strength alliances and stable leadership.
So internal power struggles.
Yes.
Or threats from neighboring kingdoms. Could have weakened Angkor.
Absolutely. The historical record shows evidence of both.
Right.
We know there were periods of internal strife.
Okay.
Rival factions vying for control, plus external threats from kingdoms to the east and west.
Yeah.
Constantly testing Angkor's defenses.
It's like holding a giant puzzle together while someone keeps shaking the table. No wonder things started to fall apart.
And as the empire weakened, so did Angkor's ability to maintain that intricate water system.
Right.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Environmental strain leads to political instability, which degrades infrastructure and so on.
It's a stark reminder that even the most impressive civilizations are vulnerable.
They are.
But here's what I find so intriguing.
Yeah.
Angkor wasn't completely abandoned, was it?
That's a crucial point.
Okay.
The city didn't disappear overnight.
Oh.
It seems that some areas remained inhabited, even as others were slowly reclaimed by the jungle.
So maybe it was a gradual shift in population, people moving to areas with more reliable resources or better defenses.
That's a plausible scenario.
Okay.
It highlights the complexity of Angkor's decline. It wasn't a single catastrophe, but a convergence of factors, environmental, political, and social, all intertwined.
It shows that history is rarely simple or straightforward. Okay, so we have this amazing city gradually fading, swallowed by the jungle.
Right.
How did it go from a lost city to a UNESCO World Heritage Site?
That's another fascinating chapter in Angkor's story.
Okay.
For centuries, the temples were hidden within the dense jungle, known only to local communities.
Okay.
It wasn't until the 19th century that European explorers stumbled upon these ruins, and the world rediscovered the grandeur of Angkor.
I can picture those explorers hacking their way through the jungle.
Oh, right?
And suddenly coming face to face with these towering temples. It must have been an incredible sight.
It was like stepping into a lost world. And from that moment on, the world was captivated by Angkor, recognizing its importance as a cultural and historical treasure.
But rediscovering something doesn't automatically protect it. What efforts have been made to preserve Angkor for future generations?
That's where organizations like UNESCO and the MCR National Authority come in.
Okay.
They've been instrumental in documenting, restoring, and protecting the site.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process, a constant battle against the elements and even against looting and vandalism.
It's like a giant open-air museum that needs constant care and attention. What are some of the biggest challenges they face?
The climate is a major factor.
Okay.
The tropical heat and humidity, along with the encroaching jungle, can cause serious damage to the sandstone structures.
It's like they're fighting nature itself to preserve these delicate carvings and temples.
And then there's the human element.
Okay.
Managing tourism is a delicate balancing act.
Right.
You want people to experience Angkor.
Right.
But you also have to protect the site from the impact of millions of visitors.
It's a tough job finding ways to share this treasure with the world without loving it to death.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's why ongoing research is so vital. The more we learn about Angkor's history, construction techniques, and even its decline, the better we can preserve it for the future.
It's like we're not just uncovering the past. We're using that knowledge to protect the future.
And that's what makes this deep dive so meaningful. It's not just about armchair exploration. It's about equipping you with understanding, a sense of responsibility, and a passion for preserving this incredible heritage.
Because Angkor Wat isn't just a destination. It's a legacy.
A legacy that reminds us of the ingenuity, the vulnerabilities, and the enduring creativity of past civilizations.
And that legacy is in our hands.
It is.
It's up to us to ensure that Angkor Wat continues to inspire awe and wonder for generations to come.
So as you plan your trip, remember you're not just visiting a place. You're stepping into a story that spans centuries. Approach it with respect, curiosity, and a sense of wonder.
And who knows, maybe you'll be part of the next chapter in Angkor's story, helping to unravel its mysteries and ensure its preservation. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.